Hello, everybody. John Dorhauer here. I don't know about you, but 4.5 months now into the coronavirus, I find my emotions on a bit of a roller coaster. One day I'm fine, I'm on an even keel, I'm even happy. I get to spend every day with my wife and my son. We share a dinner table together. I wake up in my own bed every day. I'm getting 8 hours sleep. That hasn't happened in the 5+ years that I've served in this office. And so I celebrate that. But there's also a lot of grief and anxiety and stress. And some days I wake up and I'm just mad at the world and I don't know why. And I don't want to be and I can't not be. In other days, the tears are so close to the surface for me that they just start coming out and I don't know why. And I receive them and I accept them as part of the grief and the loss that we're all experiencing, but I don't often have a name for them. I've been trying my hardest, even while quarantined here in Cleveland and now over 4 months in this home office that used to be a bedroom in our house. I've been trying to stay in touch with the church at large and having conversation with leaders across the life of this denomination. And there are two things that I want to say in a brief message to all of you who are providing leadership in and through this time. The first is, I see you, and I know how hard this is. And I'm watching day after day after day the pain and the anxiety and the disappointment and the frustrations mount. This isn't to say that we're not coping with this, and this is certainly not to suggest that we haven't proven ourselves to be adaptable in the midst of this, and I'll say more about that in a second. We truly have been, but this is hard. Now, I'm 32 years into my ministry, and I can tell you that at every point along the way, ministry was hard. Yes, it brings great joy and deep and profound satisfaction for doing the Lord's work, but it is hard work, and it's sometimes lonely work. My observation is there's never been a harder time in ministry than this. And whether you're serving in ministry as a lay leader, the pastor of a local church, a chaplain in a hospital, a chaplain on a campus, a seminary professor, or a college professor, this is hard. If you're in the local church, many of you haven't been in your sanctuary for months. Many of you see members of your church in the hospital, sick and dying, and your pastoral heart wants so profoundly and deeply to reach out to them and care for them, and you can't. And if you're a chaplain, you're walking into hospitals void of families there to care for the sick and the dying. And that responsibility is falling on you as well as the responsibility of caring for a staff that is overworked and, like you, is threatened with their own personal health by the disease of the patients that you are caring for. And all of this is hard. Overnight, we had to completely alter everything that we had learned about how to do worship and how to do church and how to have meetings. And this is hard. And I'm watching the burden that you're carrying and the pain that you're carrying and the loss that you're carrying. And my heart feels the weight of that with you. I see you. I know what you are doing and I know what it's costing you. And it doesn't look like this is going to change anytime soon. In fact, as I'm speaking to you, it's getting worse. And so as hard as it is now, we have to prepare for this to get even harder long before it gets easier. But there's a second thing I want to say, and that is how filled with pride I am as I watch leaders in the church make the necessary adaptations and remain as open and flexible to the emerging needs of the world and the church in real time. It is a beautiful thing to behold. And you're doing that in spite of the pain of which we just spoke and the anxiety that we all feel and the daily frustrations and stresses that continue to mount. You're doing it. And you're doing it well. And you're doing it beautifully. We were all worried when we were told we couldn't go into the sanctuary, that for many of us, that was the end of worship as we knew it. We were worried that we wouldn't be able to collect money from the members and keep our churches open. And while this may not be universally true, a couple of things happened overnight. One, we adapted overnight and we started doing online worship. And the very first Sunday we did this, I worshiped in 6 different time zones across the country. And I've been worshiping from coast to coast almost every week. And watching what you're doing and your ingenuity, your creativity, your willingness to stick with this after making mistakes and learning from those mistakes is nothing short of extraordinary, inspiring, and quite frankly, admirable. And to our chaplains, military chaplains and hospital chaplains and hospice chaplains and campus chaplains and many others, thank you. Your courage, your willingness to show up day after day after day and care for the sick and dying is also an inspiration to me. And I know many of you not only bear the weight of the grief and loss of your patients and the staff, but you also are risking your own health by carrying on this ministry. And you do it day after day after day. And I am profoundly grateful to each and every one of you. We don't know when this is going to end. We don't know what we're going to look like and feel like and be doing on the other side of this. But I want to thank you for hanging in there, for giving everything you have to this, even through your own pain and grief and loss. I want to thank you. This is really hard. But we are the church. We are the body of Christ. And as Paul wrote, we do not grieve as those who have no hope. Hope is what orients us. Hope is what allows us in the midst of our suffering to continue to rejoice, to wake up every day and preach and proclaim the gospel. And you're doing that, and you're doing it well. Thank you. Hang in there. I'll end with this, the words of Julian of Norwich, which I recalled when this started, and I've been repeating to myself over and over and over again. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of thing shall be well. Thank you.